Hi friends, YouTubers, this is the MS380 FarmerTec kit, and I've had this about a year and a half now. I found the kit to be the highest quality kit. It was easy to put together. And when I got it, I had a lot going on. I was doing other kits, and when I finished it, I started it, and then I just set it aside. I never used it. And some time passed, and I knew I wanted to come back to it because I just fell in love with it. So I needed to tune it, of course. And what happened there was the maximum I could get out of it was 8,000 RPM. So that set off a set of troubleshooting that probably the world has never seen before on a single saw. It was done by me. I'm of course, I've had other people consult with me. Other people have looked at it. We have talked about it. I have tried everything. And listen to me when I tell you this. When I say that I've tried everything, that means that anything that's coming to your mind right now is been done at least one time, if not 3 to 4. So, I mean, this has been extremely frustrating in a way. I'm all up for a challenge, and that's why I keep coming back to it. Well, I had a subscriber reach out to me and want to know about this kit, and I couldn't say, hey, it's the greatest. I could say it was the nicest, but I couldn't say because I hadn't cut with it. So, like any challenge, I wish it would have still been a doorstop, because then I started working with it, right? And, which is fine, that's good. And this brought me to the conclusion that I had done everything, and the only thing that was left, well, let me back up a little bit. I made a lot of progress. I found a lot of problems, and I solved them. Let me give you this example. After saying, okay, well, if it's 8,000 RPMs, it's probably timing. Well, I changed the coil. And then I could not get the saw to start under any circumstance. This is what would happen. Sometimes it would idle, and then it would not restart. But 99% of the time, this is what would happen. It would fire. It sounded just like a carb problem. Like you just needed to turn those needles a little bit. Well, I went through 6 carburetors. 5 of them were aftermarket. I kept going, all right, this is a defective carb. I mean, this is what it sounds like. This is what it's got to be. The 6th carb, I got a doozy. Got a Troubleshooting HE19A. And when I was putting it on that day, I saw flash in the impulse tunnel. Oh, I said, hallelujah. All this time, my prayers have been answered. This is the problem. That was not the problem. Well, it was a problem, but wasn't the problem. So now I already knew that the saw was the saw handle, you know, where the fuel tank. This is supposed to be a copy, right? I mean, I've always said that these saws are great because they're copies. Well, for some reason, in this case, the copy of the handle is off 3 to 5 millimeters, which throws everything out of whack. That means that, oh, and all the handles that are being sold aftermarket are made off this mold. That means that if you put a aftermarket next to this, the aftermarket is going to be smaller. It's designed different. It's designed to work on this handle that is not a copy. So I had trouble getting this OEM on. The OEM had a stronger spring in it, which there's the choke, right? So to get it to run and operate properly, that needs to work. So I can get it on and so forth, but that is just this is just a hint, okay? So you can circumvent this. You know, you can use some carb cleaner and crank it up and, you know, warm it up, and then this isn't as important. The best I could do with this is it would sit overnight typically, and it would fire first thing in the morning, and then if you pulled it 300 times that day, you would get no more than a rumble. That's it, period. And then the next day, you would get that initial, and it would look just like it's a car problem. Well, we know it's not a car because we just went through 6 of them, and we landed on a great one. So that wasn't it. So now the coils. Now just to give you an idea. So it started out with the 8,000 RPM. You know. After that, I was never able to duplicate it. So I started on the ignition side. I checked the flywheel key, the coil alignment, the magnets. 3 different coils. 2 of them were aftermarket. 1 of them was OEM. I checked with a tester, and I used a chain draped over the saw, grounded on the ground, take the plug, lay the plug on the chain, and I'd pull this baby in the dark, and on all 3 I would get pretty blue flame off those coils. So at no time was this caused by a coil problem or an ignition problem. So I just described the carburetor issue and how I solved that. I explained to you about the air filter. Now, and I've been using non-ethanol fuel. The pressure test and vacuum tests were done frequently. All of them passed each time, including the fuel circuit with the vent, so forth. Done at least 7 or 8 times over the year and a half. Okay, so and I've explained about it firing and doing no more. So only thing that it could be is the cylinder. Now, I'm not saying that the cylinder, if the cylinder's off, it's going to solve the problem, because it's not solving this problem. But before I can do anything, before I can try to make the saw better, I've got to get it to where I can tune it. I mean, bottom line, that's what's got to happen. All right. So I've ordered a cylinder. The cylinder should be here. So I'm going to take you on this ride with me if you want to go, and I'm going to give you an overview of how this is going to work. I'm making this video to explain what the heck's going on. Then I'm going to make a series of, I'm going to make 4 video series. I believe it's 4. And I'm going to tear down the saw. So there'll be that, and you'll be able to, I'm going to tear it down to the seals on both sides. There's no reason to crack the case or anything like that. If you, in the future, and please don't go out and buy one of these until, you know, we're done and you see on your own, you know. See, one thing is they don't seem to have been that popular. So I wonder if they even ever had a need to repackage the kits. So in other words, even though it was a year and a half ago, did they use all the kits that they had stored in the trailer, you know, to ship out, you know, to where they had to put new parts in a box? They had to have a new production run, whatever. You know, I don't know. You may get the same kit today that I got then. What, you know, we haven't heard what's available. You know, what they're doing on that. So keep that in mind. But then, okay. So we're going to do the tear down. Then I'm going to look at the cylinder and look at the cylinder I get to replace it with, and then I'm going to change it out. So that will be another of, you know, reassembling the saw. And then the last one, which is the 4th. So it's this video, the tear down, the rebuild, and then we're going to see on the last one what problems we've got remain. Because what I'm looking for out of the cylinder is for the puppy to run, and then we've got to, you know, hopefully, you know, there's not an issue with the filter, the choke, that it'll just crank up every time. But I wonder, you know, so to me, until we get this cylinder changed out, we're not going to know for sure that everything's okay, you know. But I sure hope it is, because this is got a 52 millimeter piston in it. The 440's got a 50. So, you know, this is it's got an excellent oiler on it. I mean, excellent, very capable. You know, doing long bars. There is a problem with the studs on this. This cover, and this is what I believe I remember. I don't have a bar on it, and I hadn't in some time. But I don't think the bar fits on it right, because this has beveled holes there for the studs, and these are the old studs on it, so that, you know, they're mismatched. And if I remember correctly, the bar doesn't sit, you know, really correct. But you know, we can, if we can get it to idle and start and, you know, do all that, you know, I'll change those puppies out, and then I'll worry about that. But you know, there are a few things. You know, the brake's heavy duty, the clutch is heavy duty, but you'll see all that during the tear down. It's fairly impressive. Okay, so I look forward to sharing this with you, and in all honesty, I don't know what to expect. But I am kind of excited about getting there. And if it doesn't get anywhere, I think I might see if I can sell it for parts or something, so that I never come back to it. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Oh, and let me mention this one thing. What I recently found out is on the studs holding this, is you have two nuts that hold the carburetors on the stud, and then this goes over it. Well, I believe because of the size difference, if you have the stud, if you use the nuts, then you're going to have a fuel leak. And I had my handle would be wet down here, but when I took the nuts away and just tighten this down, the fuel leak stopped immediately. So that, you know, that's further proof that that's bad, that that's a bad situation there, that it encompasses just, you know, more than aesthetics. Okay, YouTube, so I've got all this out on the table. Let's see where it goes. Thanks so much. I appreciate everything. Please subscribe if you're not already, and give it a thumbs up if you like it. So thank you.